Hi, welcome to Joy Fido International. My name is Joy Fido, and as usual I like to share with you what I call lessons of life. And that's, again, my little name for it is Low. You know, young kids these days, they go Lows. Well, I've turned it around to say lessons of life, and that's what it is. So my name is Joy Fido, and I'll be chatting with you regarding these lessons of life. Welcome on board. Okay, so what are we really talking about today? Quite a lot has happened within this week to me, and I remember the last time I had a chat with you and I said things are getting really exciting, and I'm so happy that I've been able to reorganize my thoughts, and my 2018 is looking amazing. But you remember something I said as well. I did say the interesting thing about life is once one thing is done, another comes in. So you're constantly put on your toes, where you have to keeping in touch with things, or keeping track on things to make sure nothing goes out of the way you are hoping it should. So the interesting things that happened was I did mention that we're having a workshop coming up this February on how to get on YouTube with all my experiences I've amassed over the years, and I'm going to share with you my knowledge, because obviously lots of people have been interested and they're asking questions, how did you start? And so I put up an article or a write-up on Facebook, and I mentioned about this workshop, but in there I try to explain how my story started. We all have a story, from then we were born to the way things have been going on, and then wherever we are presently. And so that's your story. So I put a little snapshot of my story, and guess what? Everyone who was involved in my story, who are still participants, all got excited. And so that became the exciting thing that happened within the week. Excited this time, not excited for positive reasons, but negative reasons. And that really inspired me to come to you with this video. Why did it inspire me? Because lots of other people who obviously are not part of the story read my story and were really intrigued, like, you have really inspired me. And I thought, oh wow, that's really touching, because obviously we hear people's stories and sometimes we go, yeah, story. But I was happy that my story inspired people. And that's why I really want to give you a bit more grounding about this story, again, to inspire you and to remind you to stay strong no matter what the circumstance is, because there will always be circumstances. And that's why I created this program called Lessons of Life, because there's so much you're going to be encountering in life, and you're going to find yourself sometimes really tired and you want to give up. But this is where the story comes on. You really don't have to give up. So the story is called From Nothing to Winning, and that's what it is, from nothing to winning. So what is it about from nothing to winning? So the story says from nothing to winning, and that's what I'm given the title of this. Remember, again, this is interesting. People have asked me, but you started with hair and now you're cooking and now you're telling us personal development. Trust me, I touch everything that bothers me or that excites me. And personal development is huge. Why is it so huge? If your mind is not right, nothing in your life is going to be right. That's how I understand personal development. And I did a course in neuro-linguistic programming years ago when I started my business, and that really helped to shape my life. And that's what's really helped to keep me on track, and that's what's allowed me to veer into as many things as I enjoy doing. And the interesting thing is, even the Bible says you should take on as many things, because you never know which one God is going to bless. He actually says 7 things. So I don't think I'm even anywhere near 7, but of course I'm going to get there, because I absolutely do love touching different things. And what I do is when I take on anything, I really give it my all. So again, inspiring you, because don't think because you know one thing, nothing else should come into your life. We are geniuses in so many areas, I've read, and so whatever piques your interest, take it up. Don't say, oh no, I wasn't born for this one, or this one is not my thing, or whatever. If it piques your interest, take it up. So anyway, we're preparing our mind, and that's what personal development is all about, because once the mind is ready, your body follows wherever the mind goes. So from nothing to winning. So my life started, I could recall my life from the age of 6 after my mother had died. I'm not saying I don't remember before my mother died as a young child, but my mother died about the age of 6. And it was a difficult life growing up. Because now I'm a mother, I can relate to it. I can relate to it so much more, because now with my children, one of them is in university, one of them works, and these are the teenagers or the young adults, and then I still got 2 younger ones who are still in secondary school and other. And it is a job constantly keeping in touch with your children, in the sense of they all need your attention in various ways. And I remember saying to people, it's not just enough to have children and walk away, which most men tend to do, because if you really look into families, you find, oh, that one's dad is no longer here, that one's that, and so constantly men just have children and walk away because they did not carry the child, and so there's no particular ties to them and the child. All they know in their head is, I have a child somewhere. But the story is different with women. I said, mother, you carry that child for 9 months, and so that child is part of you. I'm not necessarily saying all mothers are like that, but generally mothers, we have that thing called maternal instinct, where God has prepared us to know what it's like to be in touch with a child, to know how the child feels, to know when the child's having fever or headache or whatever. And so with children, they constantly, whatever it is that happens with them, they want to share with their mother. And so, mom, this has happened, what should I do, what would you say, how do you guide me? And so this is constantly going on. And so now look back, rewind back to me, 6-year-old, no mother, nobody telling me this is how you go about it, this is what you should do. And I never really had anyone to run to when I had issues. And so it was difficult for me, and it was so bad that my stepmom obviously was not one in particular that was interested in my well-being. I mean, it was so bad that if you watch the movie Cinderella, it connects with me really well, where Cinderella was put somewhere and she had to do all the cleaning and washing and all of that, while the half-sisters or step-sisters, whatever, were there relaxing and having fun. That was my kind of life. But as if that wasn't bad enough, and I'd gone through all of that, and I'd gone through the primary school, and then I had to go into secondary school, and again, I was hoping on my big brothers to help, because I had older brothers. I'm like second to the last from my mom, and they did not help. They did not help because then their wives, equally like my stepmom, had their roles in my life, and they never saw the need to encourage their husbands to support their younger ones. And so it was stressful for us growing up. But somehow God pulled us through, and I know God pulled me through. And that's why this story is being told, because I'm kind of reminding all of us, or inspiring us, because sometimes when things start to get difficult for me again, I remind myself and I say, if I could go through then, why can I not go through now? And so it was so bad. I struggled to cope with things, but eventually got pulled through by God, and I got a job, a really good job, and this was way back in Lagos, in Nigeria. I got a really good job, and my life turned around eventually. Then of course, when my life turned around, everything was going okay and all that, and then I left the first job, I went to the second job, and eventually got fed up again with jobs and I decided to leave the country, which I did, and came over to England. But of course, coming over to England was a brand new life. And so I'm in a new environment, having to go through all the usual processes of regularizing your stay in the country that you're brand new to, new cultures, new friends, and new experiences of maybe racism and discrimination and victimization and all the things that go with a new person in a new environment. I had to deal with all of that. And again, as God will have it, I pull through. I'll go to work, and then my luck was that the minute I got here, I didn't stay long, I got pregnant. I had my first daughter. And this was me now with a baby, new to the country, not knowing where to go to get whatever. I still reminded myself to take up studies and skills. And so I was constantly either running to one's college or the other to learn one thing or the other, or I was running to chase a job, or I was running to I just took on as many things as I could, just like I still do till today. And in between, I'll run from all of that, and I'll go take my daughter from the childminder, and we'll get home, and first thing the next morning we start all over again. But why this story is being told is how life can take you up and down. It's called Ups and Downs of Life. There's a book I read, and it calls it The Peaks and Valleys of Life. And so I went through all of that stage, and again, just like in Lagos, got a really good job. I got a really good job in the end at that time, and I was doing really well. Got a home, new in the country. What did I know? I got a home, and I furnished it to my taste, which was one of my big dreams, is a home. I love homes because I have unique taste when it comes to what a home should look like. I want my home, I dream paradise most times when I think of a home. And so I did all I could to make my home amazing and welcoming and exciting for my kids and all that. And then, as nature will have it again, the job went. I lost the job. Not because I did anything wrong, but the job, the people at the top had embezzled the funds, and then the company was running out of funds, and so the company had to move away from London into one of the suburbs, and I was made redundant. Now I had 2 kids at that time, and I was pregnant with my 3rd daughter on the way. And so with 3 children, I had to find a way to look after them. So now with a home, with all the bills that goes with it, it was a nightmare again. Another nightmare starting. And we all squatted into a tiny little 2-bedroom flat, and then from there slowly, then we moved outside London. And then this is where we are now. But the interesting thing why I had to go on explaining this story is, now I know people who make it a business to know what's going on with you. And you remember the story I told you about this 1 week where so much has been going on. These people are interested in everything you do. I don't make anybody's life my interest, seriously. My role in life, which I've realized from God, is to support people, and that's what I've been doing for this year, all these years. With all the time I came onto YouTube, that's what I've been doing, supporting people, helping people to think about themselves, which is what I still do till today, to see how I can help people change the way they see life, help them, pull themselves together and get on with life. But there are people out there who just want to see you fail. And now I'm hearing within this 1 week of me putting out this report, or this little write-up I did, people saying, oh yeah, there she is, she thinks she's something, but she hasn't got any money, and now she doesn't even have a home, and she's ashamed of where she lives, and that's why she doesn't invite anybody to her home. But I don't know what it is I want to invite people to my home for if I am not proud of where I am. because I am not proud of it. And I know why, because things turned upside down for me. I lost my job, and without income, things were not what I had imagined they would be. And so now I had to set up this business, and I had to start running it, and hence I come onto YouTube and guide you and chat with you about all the things that life brings, hence is lessons of life, because I have learned a lot along the way. I have learned to understand that it's not always going to be rosy. I've learned to understand that there will be peaks and there will be valleys, and there will be what's important in this life is your mind. And if you've been following me on Facebook, you will have heard me. I write all these things from time to time. Your mind is the most important thing you can take control of, because the minute you lose your mind, you've lost it. And so my mind is intact, and I thank God for that. And that's why I come here and I share things with you, because for me, I am not worried that I haven't got the home I want to live in at the moment, because I don't lack anything else. I'm comfortable. I may not be excited, but I'm comfortable. I mean, I know of so many people who have huge homes, big homes, and they're very sad and they're very depressed. They don't even move from one room to the other. So it's not about me having a home that's going to give me happiness or give me peace. But it's just one of those things that we all need in life. And because for me, my special thing is having a comfortable home. But that's me. It doesn't mean I have lost anything else, because I will get there. And that's why you take control of your mind. You know that, yes, this is just one of those valley times, and so the peak is coming again. I am working towards it. So that's a major lesson for all of us to pick on. Because no matter how rough things may be, for as long as you are in control of your mind, you have hope. And you're going to find people who actually contributed to causing you the pain and the grief that you're going through in life are the ones who will sit up there and raise up their hands and scream and say you're lying. Because that's what I've been told. I don't see what I have to lie about. Because when things are rosy, I say they are. And when things are not, I say they are not. And these people going about talking, oh, you don't have a good home. I said, I have never denied that. I tell everyone that, yes, I lost my job. Yes, I lost my home. Yes, I'm trying to get myself back again, thanks to God. But you know, the beauty of all of this is the fact that God does everything in our lives for a reason. I mean, remember the story of the Israelites. How when they left Egypt and they were in the wilderness for 40 years. So, I always remember that when things are not great. And I said, this is my wilderness. Let me deal with it. Because sometimes when things are not the way you want them in your life, there's a reason it's happening that way. God wants you to come back. Because most of us, when things are okay, we tend to forget. We tend to think that, yeah, I'm in control and I know what I'm doing. Look at me, I'm amazing. And especially those of us from Africa and Nigeria in particular, we tend to put so much effort on money, financial gain, materialistic things. And for me, a lot matters to me, because I know that by God's grace, or how do I put it? I mean, touch wood, if anything happens to me today, there are people out there who will say, yes, she contributed to our lives. The other day I was there in my living room, and one of my ex-students called, and she was over the moon telling me how things are really going well with her. And she said, I would not have been able to do any of this if it wasn't for your training. Joy, you talked me into understanding myself. You reminded me of who I am. And I cannot thank you enough. I'm calling you because I want to be able to. So I'm calling you because I want to be able to connect my website to yours and remind people that this is where I got my training from. And I said, please feel free and do that. Because I absolutely want the best for all of you that have, you know, your lives have touched mine. And so for me, I get the greatest joy knowing that I have actually contributed to people's life and I've touched people's lives. And way back in Africa and Nigeria, you see people, all they're interested is in their homes. They'll build like 20 homes in different cities, and then it's not enough, and then they come over to England and they go to America and they go to Dubai and they build homes everywhere. But they're only one person and they only live in one place at one time. So what is the point of all this amassing of physical material wealth? Okay, so you finish doing all that, and then when it's over, when your life is over and you have to go back to your Creator, what then happens? Do they take any of these houses and bury with you? No, they don't. But this has not helped people or stopped people from just focusing on the material things. I mean, I watched a video because right now I'm in training, I'm in college, taking a course in becoming a tourism consultant. Is one of my most favorite things because I love traveling. Again, if I may not have money right now for a house, trust me, that's where most of my money went. I love traveling and I travel across the globe. So I decided, okay, I love doing this so much, so why don't I learn all about it? So I'm doing a course in it. And recently we were watching a video on Dubai. The video says, "Welcome to Dubai 2017. You can go watch it. It's an amazing video. Now, why it's so amazing is the fact that this little city that was just based on little oil, not too much oil, and just pure desert, has transformed into this amazing, amazing modern metropolitan city. It has become one of the biggest hubs in tourism. The shocking thing about it is, how did they achieve all of that? They were able to create a beach in a desert. They're thinking of getting ice rings from Antarctica into the place. They got fishes, they got, you name it, and they've created it, and all of this is man-made. Why am I so triggered or excited? Is because somebody thought about those things. It was somebody's thoughts, and that's why I am so excited about personal development. Because if somebody did not think of that, do you see that happening? And some of these things I listen to say is one of the best nations that we own, that we don't know we own, is imagination. Imagination. So if you sit on your own and you just imagine, what if I try this and I try that? How is that going to work? And you try it out. Can you imagine what then happens? What happens is that becomes reality. And that's what has happened with Dubai. Lots of imagination come together and has created this amazing metropolitan city. While those of us in Africa, we are just thinking how we can amass all the wealth in that continent and just take it with us and go and buy homes in Dubai that somebody thought about, go and buy homes in US, go and buy homes in the UK, and just waste the money away. And while you might think it's just the politicians who do that, there are just ordinary normal people like these people telling me I don't have a home, and so they're feeling cool with themselves. All they're thinking is how they can, any opportunity you give to most Nigerians to get into authority, the first thing they want to do is take the money away. But we could have used that money to reinvest in the system. And that's what Dubai has just created in my head. So that's where we are. If we can allow our thoughts to guide us, we are going to be in a position where we can contribute more to life. And that's what I want to do. Be able to contribute to your life. Be able to support you in ways that are not tied to any particular thing, but allowing your thinking to flow properly. And so I wish that people will see how. I wish that based on the way me and you talk, or I chat with you people out there, that you could start thinking as well how you can contribute to other people's lives. But you see, what I was saying about how God works with us is, times when things are so down, you then have no choice. You then have no choice but to go to him and say, please help me. What is going on with my life? And that's why I always say to people, when things are so down, don't think it is over. It's just God calling you again to say, listen, my child, I need you here. I need your attention. And why it became even a lot more clearer to me is the past 2 weeks I've been going to church. And last week, one of the passages that was read said, it was about Samuel as a young child in the church. I think it was with Elisha or Elijah. And he kept hearing the voice of God calling him, Samuel, Samuel. And he ran to Elijah and said, yes, yes, master, or just answered. And he said, no, I didn't call you. He said, oh, okay. And he walked away. And then he heard the voice again and he ran again. So 3 times he did that. And then the master knew, or Elijah or Elisha knew, that it was God that was calling Samuel. Hi everyone that's saying hello. We absolutely appreciate you being there, and we hope you appreciate us being here too. Thank you so much for being part of us. So Elijah said to him, when you hear that voice again, say, here I am, master, I'm waiting, or I'm ready, something like that, in the sense of I'm ready for your work. And that really clicked. It was like, God is calling all of us to continue his work, but we are not listening, because obviously we are ignorant that he's calling us. And so most times, until things get really bad, then we go, there must be God somewhere. Why is he allowing this to happen to me? And then that's when we query. And when we start querying now, we start talking to him, then we start hearing more voices, and then we start knowing what to do. And then today again, I'm in church, and again, similar message. He said he's calling us now. The passage was about when Jesus called, I think, Peter, when they were at sea fishing, and he said, you're going to be fishers of men, no more fishing. And he just walked around getting more and more disciples. So again, that was about the calling. And there was another passage, I think, I've forgotten who this person was, that God asked to go to a city and warned them that he was coming with lots of, because he was angry with the city, Nineveh. And I've forgotten this apostle. And he asked him to go there and tell them that he's coming with anger if they don't change their ways. And this person was trying to avoid the message. I think it was Daniel, I'm not sure. And God kept calling him, and eventually had to listen, because when he tried to hide, God saw him and said, it is you I want to take on this job. So that's what happens to all of us when we tend to avoid taking on the role that God has given us. And I know that my role, one of it, is really to sit and chat with you guys about my experiences of life. Because what you then find is, when you have these experiences, it's not just for you to take it on and feel bad about. Because I know so many people who go through difficult times, and they practically want to find a hole and open and go in there and hide. There is nothing bad about you going through a difficult time. It is just part of life. It is just a necessity of life. What you should not do is let your mind go with it. Don't let your mind go with the problem. Because I remember one of the videos I watched, and what the man said was, just say to yourself, this too shall pass. Why? Because we're all here for a short period of time in life. And we're going to be coming from things to things. And so when whatever happens, just remind yourself, it is not permanent. And there's another saying that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So whatever it is that you're going through at that time is just a phase. So remind yourself, this too shall pass. And that's why I took you through the story of my life when I was growing up, young 6-year-old. That too passed. When I was going through the difficult times with my sister-in-laws, that too passed. Difficult time with my stepmom, that too passed. I moved on to Lagos and I carried on, and I thought I went high and I crashed again. That too passed. So me being here in London and struggling with things because I had a job and then I lost the job and I'm getting back myself is going to pass too. So whatever you're going through in life, that too will pass. So that's why I call it from, nothing to winning. Because you may think you're nothing, but if you persist, if you focus, if you keep your mind intact and put the right thoughts in your head, you are going to win. You will win. And I remember reading somewhere where the man said, it's not over until I win. So that's what you need to tell yourself. Because failure is not about you failing, it's about you giving up. So that's what life is all about. Never you give up. Never allow all the nonsense talks that people want to throw at you out there. Because the whole idea is to confuse your state of mind, such that you're not thinking about anything else. And you remember this whole thing about the law of attraction. It's the thoughts that you put in your head that actually creates what you practically experience. So if you are allowing people to sit in your state of mind, which is what the devil always wants from us, gives us negative things so that we engage in that and forget what we really wanted to do, then you lose out. So the focus is for you to just hold on to yourself and know what you want and put the right thoughts into your mind. Because with the right thoughts, you're going to achieve the right results. So in the process of all the things I've been through and experienced, after I lost my job here and I lost the home, then I found YouTube. Because in the process of chasing for the next thing to do, I started attending every workshop I could find on social media. Social media had just started then. And then I realized I could do so much on YouTube, and I started. But look at me today. I have so many things that I want to share with you. I have so much knowledge, I have so much experiences, I have so much skills. And so that's what I'm doing, and I'm so excited about doing it. And that's what I'm hoping for all of you out there too. So I'm actually trying to encourage you and inspire you. And the interesting thing is, when I wrote what I wrote about my experiences and how my life started, and these people who were part of my experience that actually caused me the pain, felt so angry about it. Like you were not meant to talk about that anymore because you are now old and you're supposed to have forgotten it. And I'm thinking, but we have this issue with slavery. Slavery happened, I think, 400 years ago, or for 400 years, and people suffered. And when people want to mention it, people who never experienced it want to tell you, but that's history, let's forget it. It doesn't matter anymore. But there's something that say, if you don't remember your history, it will repeat itself. History repeats itself when you forget it. And so it is best that you don't forget history. You can forgive, but you don't have to forget. And in my life right now, I've forgiven everybody who, one way or the other, touched my life negatively. I have forgiven them. I have forgiven everyone because I know what forgiveness means. If you don't forgive, it holds you back. So that's why it's a major part of life that you must forgive. And why is that? Because there's a saying that the mind can only hold one thought at a time. So if you want to keep having this thought of I'm not forgiving people in your mind, what's happening is you have blocked your mind. It cannot take any more new information. And if you're a Christian like me, we basically get engaged with the Holy Spirit. So that's what guides us in the right way. But if you are busy, still very angry and holding on to grudges, the Holy Spirit cannot really function through you. So that's why as a Christian, you have to forgive. That doesn't necessarily mean you forget it ever happened. It doesn't mean that. But when people, hurt other people, the most natural thing I would think is apologize and say, we apologize, this happened when it happened, we were ignorant. Just like the cases of the Jews. When they asked that, you know, all the Nazi treatment and everything, somebody has to apologize to them and return all their things to them. And that happened. So why is slavery a different story? But that's something for another day. But so when people hurt people, especially young kids, when you're ignorant, you don't know anything, and somebody hurts you as a child, and now you've grown up, and then they still think, you know what, you were never supposed to remember that. I find that really difficult to relate to. But anyway, that was my experience, and that was my story, and I can guarantee you that is a story that I will keep telling. I will tell this story to anyone who wants to hear. You know why? Because it will inspire people. It will remind people that no matter how lonely your beginning is, no matter how sad your beginning is, no matter how poor your beginning is, no matter how people think they can destroy you, the Creator, the greater being that put us all together as who we are today, has a bigger plan, and no matter who you are, he does not allow you to be destroyed when he's got his eyes on you. And I believe he's got his eyes on me, and I believe he's got great things for me to do. So it doesn't matter how many times I fall and rise, I will keeping on. And that's what my message is to you. Keeping on. Don't give up. Because you're going to win from nothing, and you become a winner. Okay, so I'm going to stop here today, and thank you so much for all the high messages you sent to us. Thank you. We absolutely appreciate you, and we absolutely wish the amazing best for you in 2018. So we're going to stop here today regarding this, and there's so much more personal development coming your way from this channel. Thank you. Remember to like this, remember to share it with your friends, and remember to subscribe to the channel, because there's so much coming up. Remember, what we do, we don't stick to the one thing. We don't want you to be bored with us. We want you to keep looking forward to something new all the time. So we'll see you in the next video, and God bless you. So remember to follow us on all our social media. We are on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and then of course YouTube. So thank you again, and see you. And Snapchat, we forgot that one.